Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and a warm welcome if you're new, honey. So today we have a very interesting story. Widow Erika Kirk and JD Vance were seen being a little bit too handsy on stage. Well, at least that's what a lot of people thought, and personally I agree, especially with the hand in the hair. That was a bit much. But a lot of people have been speculating online what exactly this means, predictions for the future, and possibly issues going on in JD Vance's marriage. So if you're ready to get into this story, just stay tuned. So all the speculation started a few days ago when it looked like Erika Kirk and JD Vance were just a little too touchy after Erika Kirk's introduction to bring JD Vance on stage. Also, the statement that she made before she brought him on stage had people a little bit rocky as well. So let's go ahead and first watch that.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight, because he's an amazing man.
In my opinion, from the outside looking in, this just seems like, surface level, she's giving him his props, saying he's an upstanding man. But a lot of people online were saying that she did not have to preface it with nobody could replace my husband, but JD Vance is an amazing man, because that kind of gives the vibe he could, he could, because they're so similar. And I think that's where the problem is. Not to mention, even though everybody grieves differently, a lot of people have been criticizing the way that she is so smiley and happy throughout this, her lack of tears, so on and so on. But I will say this, I have seen her cry a couple times. Now, I will also mention that imagine you're crying as many tears as you can possibly cry. I feel like your tear ducts are going to dry up at some point. I mean, honestly, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's faking it, but I can see why there's some skepticism. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. Okay. But yeah, I can see why, because, normally if you see someone crying and there's no tears, it's like, oh, they totally must be faking it. So I get that. But at the same time, I just can see both sides, I think. I can see a reality where she's just cried as many tears as she can cry, and she's trying to just look forward to the future and helping to honor his name, because that sounds like what she likes to do, which, I understand that was her husband. And then at the same time, she could be totally faking it. But then that draws a question as to why would she even have to fake feeling bad about her husband passing away? That is like a whole little rabbit hole down there. And we'll get to that in a second. But before we do, let's go ahead and look at the huggy, touchy-feely part that everyone was talking about. Okay, so first of all, I don't know why so many of these videos just had to have trending sounds behind them. But, just bear with me, because those were the videos that I saw that were the best quality. So I wanted to make sure that you guys could see everything clearly. But what I want to say about their greeting is initially it really doesn't look that bad. The main thing is the hand placement, her hand placement on his head. Somebody could say that is in a sexual nature, but I would really say that's very motherly. I picture a mother doing that to their child. And I guess that could be depicted as they have a strong affinity towards each other, and that could go either way. You could like someone as a friend, you could like someone as more than a friend, but it didn't make things work any better that JD decided to say that he really wants his wife to convert to Christianity. He mentioned how she pretty much comes to church with him almost every Sunday, and he hopes one day the word of God will really touch her and she will eventually agree to convert to Christianity. Now, all of their children are also Christians. They go to a Christian school. So she is the only one whose religion is Hindu, who's in their home. So I don't know what kind of impact that could possibly have, but the fact that he mentioned it publicly, I felt like that made things a little bit worse, coupled with the handsiness, the affectionateness of these two, both Erika and JD. So let's go ahead and watch exactly what he said about his wife.
Everybody has to come to their own arrangement here. The way that we've come to our arrangement is she's my best friend. We talk to each other about this stuff. So we decided to raise our kids Christian. Our two oldest kids who go to school, they go to a Christian school. Our 8-year-old did his first communion about a year ago. That's the way that we have come to our arrangement. But thank you. My 8-year-old was also very proud of his first communion. Thank you, guys. I'll tell him that Ole Miss wishes him the best. But I think everybody has to have this own conversation when you're in a marriage. I mean, it's true for friends of mine who are in Protestant and Catholic marriages, friends of mine who are in, atheist and Christian marriages. You just got to talk to the only advice I can give is you just got to talk to the person that God has put you with, and you've got to make those decisions as a family unit. For us, it works out. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love. Again, one of the most important Christian principles is that you respect free will. Usha's closer to the priest who baptized me than maybe I am. They talk about this stuff. My attitude is you figure this stuff out as a family, and you trust in God to have a plan, and you try to follow it as best as you can, and that's what I try to do.
In response to this video, I've seen so many angry commenters online. The first person said he's basically saying Hindus are practicing a wrong faith, essentially, and this guy is not any ordinary American racist Joe, but the vice president of the land that has a constitution that he has sworn allegiance on. To take that position, so his view that Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Jews, etc. And then someone else said, somebody lied. If he didn't approve of her religion, why is he dressed like this? So, you guys, I do just want to say I don't really feel like he's wrong for what he said, because he also said yes, he does want her to be Christian. He's being honest about that. But he also made sure to mention if she decides that she doesn't want to be Christian, that's okay too. He married her as a religiously Hindu woman. So he's okay with that. And he also says that God teaches free will, and he completely understands that. But would he want her to be Christian? Yes. But I don't think it necessarily means that he feels like her religion is inferior. I feel like he just genuinely feels like Christianity and the word of God is the way to go. And I guess you could say, he feels like it's wrong, but I feel like he could also say, okay, maybe Christianity is just a better option. Not necessarily that your religion is wrong, but because I feel like this is a better option. You know what I mean? I can see it, once again, I can see it going either way, but I don't really think he had any bad intentions behind it. And also, I want to keep in mind that he did not bring this up completely unprovoked. He was actually having a debate with a few students, and a student asked a question specific to his household. She appeared to be a Hindu woman, I don't want to assume, but she was South Asian. So she was just asking, how do you run your household knowing that your wife is Hindu and you're Christian? How does that dynamic work? So it was a very specific question, and he answered it in a very specific way. I don't really feel like he should be faulted for that. For those who stayed towards the end, I saved the best for last. So first, we're going to talk about a couple of theories that people have been having about Miss Erika Kirk and her previous family's history, because it looks like she has some pretty good connections to some very higher ups. And because of that, people are wondering if she has another agenda with taking over Turning Point USA and now becoming CEO.
A grieving widow? Or was she a honeypot used by the CIA or Mossad to see out an evil agenda? Let's take a deep dive into Erika Kirk's life. She was born Erika Francevey. Her dad, Kent Francevey, worked with the DoD and helped establish Raytheon's branch in Israel for missile defense. The internet has been completely scrubbed of his name in the recent weeks. Go figure. Erika's mom, Lori Francevey, founded a company that has several contracts with the DoD, Homeland Security, and NASA. Erika's grandfather, Carl Kenneth Francevey, was the vice president at American Banknote Co., known for their secure IDs in secure printing. And he was also the Grand Chief of the Independent Order of Vikings, a secret society of sorts, and he was also knighted by the King of Sweden. Just based off this alone, we know that Erika is not a normal human being. She comes from an elite, well-connected background. At the age of just 17, she founded Romanian Angels, a nonprofit founded to help Romanian children. The only problem is locals in that area accused American nonprofits of trafficking kids using military support. And what's even crazier is back in 2013, Erika posted a video of her in Romania, and in that video, she thanked Colonel Busher III, an alleged human and sex trafficker that was accused of running a brothel out of the US base in Romania. And yes, there were minors involved. Erika went on to attend Regis College, a Jesuit college. She also gained her New York real estate license and was hired by the Corcoran Group, the same group that listed Jeffrey Epstein's Palm Beach mansion. And this is a high-end luxury real estate group. She managed to go straight to the top. And then her Trump connection. She won Miss Arizona 2012, a pageant owned by none other than Donald Trump. She has spent her time raising money through her GoFundMe and also becoming the CEO of Turning Point USA, carrying on Charlie's legacy. However, I don't see her questioning Israel at all the way Charlie was towards the end of his life. Considering there's a clear lack of grief in her demeanor over the past few weeks following up her husband's brutal assassination, she seems awfully suspicious, and I think that most people would agree with.
People have also been saying that it's clear that she's acting, and apparently, with their opinion, she's not a very good actress at all. And then that has other people asking the question we were asking earlier, which is, why would you even feel the need to pretend to be sad about your husband's death? That's something that you can genuinely be sad about, unless, I don't know. But let's go ahead and see this acting that all these critics are talking about.
Love you, Erika. Charlie. Love you, Erika. Love you, Erika.
I don't know, you guys. I don't know if I would automatically assume that this is acting per se, because you hear everybody saying Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. If your husband just died and you're trying your best to stand strong and represent him and represent his beliefs and his legacy, and all you hear is the name of your dead husband, wouldn't you feel some type of way too? I mean, let's be for real, because sometimes I feel like we take humanity out of situations and we don't really think of ourselves in that other person's shoes as much as we should. But this last video really raised some questions for me, especially hearing the first video and then I heard this one shortly after. Also, let's take this video with a grain of salt because it is anonymous, so we do not know if this person is just like a clout chaser or if they're just trying to stir up some drama. We do not know this person's intentions because we cannot see who they are. But let's just listen to the information regardless.
Erika Kirk came in as leader. I don't even know how to explain it. The vibe just shifted, instantly. And then she starts bringing in all these new people, total unknowns. No social media, no LinkedIn, no nothing. It's like they just appeared. Everyone in the office is joking, well, half joking, that they're all spooks. And honestly, it fits. So people start digging around just to see who we're really working with. And it gets creepy fast. Her mom works for some Israeli defense firm, something to do with missile systems, like the Iron Dome level stuff. Her dad literally wrote the book about how to integrate private companies into the intelligence community. And Erika, she loves to brag about her connections. She'll say stuff in meetings like, if I want to know something about someone, I can have it by morning. Mossad doesn't sleep. Then she'll flash that megawatt smile like she's joking, but she's not. Everyone knows she's not. Does she actually work for them? I mean, yeah, everyone thinks so. She's hinted at it herself. And now, the whole office feels wired, Slack channels are dead. People don't say what they're thinking anymore, everyone's paranoid, like the walls are listening. Maybe they are.
Okay, y'all, so like I said, take that one with a grain of salt because I'm not sure how true any of that information was. It was just something that was going viral that I wanted to share with you guys. But I want to know your thoughts, so go ahead and put them down in the comments. Do you feel like Erika Kirk is being genuine? Do you feel like her and JD are getting a little too close? What do you think? And in the meantime, if you made it this far, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell. That way you're notified every time I post. And in the meantime, please be careful out here because this world is cray-cray. Okay, love you. Bye.